The last ride. It was almost midnight. Jephy hurried to the bus stop after his late-night shift. The air was cold, and the streets were empty. Just as he thought there were no more buses, an old, dimly lit bus appeared from the distance, its headlights flickering. Jephy stepped onto the bus. The inside was unusually dark, with only a few passengers sitting silently, heads drooped as if asleep. The driver, a middle-aged man wearing black sunglasses, showed no emotion. A strange chill ran down Jephy's spine. The bus started moving, but the route was completely different from usual. Jephy frowned as he looked outside. The familiar streets were gone, replaced by a thick, eerie fog. Something was very wrong. Jephy tried to talk to the woman sitting nearby. "Excuse me, does this bus go to the central station?" No response. The woman slowly turned her head. Jephy gasped. Her face was pale, her eyes hollow, and her lips moved soundlessly, as if she wanted to say something but couldn't. He quickly glanced around. Every passenger had the same lifeless expression, motionless, breathless. Cold sweat trickled down Jephy's neck. Desperate, he ran to the front to ask the driver, but when he looked into the rearview mirror, his heart stopped. There was no reflection of the driver. His hands were still on the wheel, but his face was just an empty black void. Jephy panicked and rushed to the door, pressing the stop button repeatedly. But there was no ding, sound, and the doors remained tightly shut. Outside, the fog grew even denser, and no roads were visible anymore. A soft voice whispered behind him, "You shouldn't have gotten on this bus." Jephy turned around and saw a young girl in a school uniform. Her face was pale, but her eyes still looked human. She whispered urgently, "If you want to live, listen to me." Jephy nodded quickly, clinging to her as his only hope. Sit there. No matter what happens, don't look outside. Jephy swallowed hard, his heart pounding, and obeyed. The bus began shaking violently. Wind howled through the cracks, accompanied by eerie whispers. "Get off, get off." Jephy gripped the seat tightly, resisting the urge to look outside. But curiosity got the better of him. He took a quick peek and nearly screamed. Beyond the window was no longer the city, but a bottomless abyss, filled with countless pale hands reaching up, trying to pull him in. The girl shouted, "Close your eyes. Don't look." Jephy squeezed his eyes shut, his heart hammering. The bus trembled harder, the wind screeching like thousands of tortured souls. Suddenly, bang! The doors burst open. Jephy felt a strong force pulling him backward. Then everything went silent. Jephy opened his eyes. He was lying on the pavement at the bus stop. Morning had arrived, and the city was alive with people. The ghostly bus was gone. He looked around for the girl, but she had vanished. Panicked, he checked his phone. No calls, no messages. But there was one strange thing. In his hand was an old, tattered bus ticket with faint, eerie words printed on it. "Last ride. No passengers return." Jephy trembled, trying to convince himself it was just a dream. But in the distance, beyond the city noise, he heard a faint sound, the rumbling of a bus rolling down the street, hidden in the cold morning mist.